Hey everybody, you're listening to the Hisessions Hawaii podcast where we talk about everything local and beyond. I'm Johnny Masato, your host. Joining me today is Kyle Shimabukuro.
How's it?
Devon Nekoba. And it's been a while.
Yeah.
Nice to see you guys. Before
You're Jake's brother?
No, I
heard the last
I'm
one.
the untalented Shimabukuro family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but
you're not related.
not musically. Yeah.
I always tell people, they go, you're Gabby Pa'inui's nephew. I said, yeah, but that side of the family. No, we don't talk about that.
Just like he kind of jumped a generation.
Yeah. Before we begin, let me remind our listeners of all the ways they can stay in touch with the show. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, all at Hisessions. You can go to SoundCloud, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts to listen to the podcast. Finally, you can email us at hisessions@yahoo.com if you'd like to get on the show, help more music to our channel, or come to our live streams. We're having a live stream September 2nd with Justin Young, who's going to be flying in for some shows and going to be there, and there's going to be some patrons hanging out with us. Go to patreon.com, Patreon, and donate. We do have a new patron, Russell from Honolulu, so thank you, Russell, for becoming a patron.
Mahalo.
Appreciate it. Kupu Kupu Landscaping, you can call Kevin Yokomura, 808-722-8685 for a free estimate, or go to kupukupulandscaping.com. You can go to Fort Ruger Market for food. Penny, who I'll introduce in a second, pulled a classic or like a B-side, which is the boneless fried chicken.
Oh, man. I didn't finish the plate because there was so much, but it was really good.
Yeah, so I didn't even know they had boneless. I had to check.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Ruger Market. Like, they have chicken?
I looked on top as soon as Devin said, hey, and I was like, oh, because I don't eat fish. Let me go look. And I looked, and they said, boneless fried chicken. Bingo! You had me at fried.
Yeah, so we got the boneless fried chicken thing going. You can find Devin right now at Local Boy 56.
Here.
The podcast. And you can go to highlifeclothing.com to find Kyle.
Oh yeah, and if this thing airs before Thursday, we have a grand opening, actually a year anniversary High Life party at the Ward store.
Oh yeah, Penny should come down.
Come down. Yeah. From 5 to 9. Just hang out, drink, eat. Yeah. Cruise, talk story.
What is the show something? What is that?
Oh, my friend Kenny, he's friends of ours, so he started this clothing brand called Show Some Aloha.
Oh, nice.
And gave me this shirt a while ago. And so Kenny is, if you watch the Pure Heart Hawaii Theater concert, he's the one that's like yelling from the rafters at us when we're like asking for requests and stuff like that. And he also does the greatest Governor Iye impression. He does
That's classic.
Oh guys, blah, 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 blah. He does this. Yeah. Anyway, but he has this Show Some brand, so give me shirts, I'll wear them. I love t-shirts. Yeah.
That's my
What
model.
size you, John? Just so everybody know.
I'm a large t-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, a large. Yeah. Okay, so by popular demand,
Yeah.
back in the studio.
This is like the quickest turnaround I think we've had a guest come back.
Dean.
Thank you.
Peni Dean number 2.
Thank you for having me back. I as I was saying earlier, there were so much messages from the first podcast on the it takes 10 years. And you know what I wanted to say was that's what worked for me when we talked about the 10 years and how long it'll take. And I got so much good input and advice from big musicians. Like I was saying, Jimmy Cliff had said that to me with
John Cliff.
John Cruz had said, some awesome things to us. But over the years, playing with a lot of these big reggae musicians that have come through Hawaii, and we were fortunate enough to open up for them, and then be backstage with them a lot of times. I was never shy. I was never one to shy away from asking questions. Like, I had a question, I'm going to ask you because I figure I want to know your answer. You're in the business for this long. Considered a legend. Well, then I want to know what the legend thinks. I'm in this industry too. I want to learn. I want to know. When my kids get older, I can tell them, you know what I mean? So why would I short them? That was my whole intention, was to get information for my children so when they get older, and they ask me, I can tell them.
Is there any other advice that you got from people and peers that you still follow to today besides Jimmy and
Johnny?
Well, Uncle Kelly Boy is probably my biggest mentor. And when Natural Vibrations first started, I remember like our third year together, we wanted to mimic what they were doing because they were the hot band.
And the epitome of professionalism.
I mean,
yeah,
Uncle Kelly.
Yeah.
And Uncle Tiva and Timoni. I mean, you know, them as well.
Yeah.
But Uncle Kelly Boy, because he was the front man, the personality and the, you know, it went out like a ray of sunshine. And so same like I said, I'm not going to hesitate. I'm going to ask questions. So he was like, oh yeah, they play music. Okay. Go have a meeting with our manager, who was Uncle Ken.
KT, yeah.
Oh,
KT at the time.
Yeah, I remember Ken.
So we sat down with him, and Uncle KT said, okay, you guys want to be musicians, huh? Okay. Here's the schedule. Now, we did a summer program with him, and this wasn't a program. I just now think of it as a program.
This was with Natural Vibration.
Yeah.
Okay.
First 3 years we were together, like our third year. Uncle KT says, okay, here. Follow them around this summer on Saturdays and Sundays. And then your night gigs, you would do whatever. But in the daytime, here's the schedule. Now, the first 7 gigs of the day is free. You're doing all fundraisers and people who need help or donations to MDA, the Jerry Lewis Telethon. That's what they did. The first 7-8 gigs of the day was all free give backs. And that's Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
So the first day they played, we played next. Then run to the next party. They play, we play next. They play, we play next.
Wow.
That's how Natural Vibrations professionalism really began.
Yeah.
Was following Capenna. And in doing that, Uncle Kelly Boy gave me 3 rules that I followed to this day. Well, actually, there were 2 main rules out of the 3. The first was shouldn't drink or do drugs while you're playing music. That'll ruin your family if you have a family. Second was, as soon as you're done with the gig, go home. Go. Don't stay, hang around. Don't. This scene is different after you're done. The music scene is not music anymore. It's hang-arounds.
Yeah.
So that's not, where you really want to be, because there's a lot of things that happen, and that can taint your career.
But it's also the reason why you want to get into music in the first place. Is to
Well,
hang after, right?
After parties and all of that.
Yeah.
But then that reputation sticks with you, and it goes on stage with you.
Oh.
That doesn't just leave you because you go down stage and they don't point at you up there and they go, "This guy was drinking with my sister last night, and he's married, and he went home with her."
Oh.
So don't.
And we all,
as soon
and we
as
all
you're
know
done,
people who are like that.
leave. It comes with the business, which is why most people don't want to be married to a musician. So,
Right.
And then the third rule was take care of your family, especially if you have one. Most musicians get into it, they don't have a family yet. They're single. For those guys, that rule applies. Like, hey, hang out, socialize, see the afterlife and of the music and hang out and party. But it's not for everybody.
So this guy's an anomaly then, because he was doing that in his teens.
Yeah.
No drugs, no drinking.
Yeah.
So boring.
And there's
Go straight home.
Well, there's a lot of guys that do that and that save their career. I mean,
John,
because look at where
father-
he's at now. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
When my wife told my father-in-law I'm dating a musician, he was like, "What?" He got all like kind of up, and then I went to Maui, and I met him. He's like, "Oh, this guy not gonna hurt nobody."
Yeah.
And that was it. Yeah.
Right.
true.
You meet the person, and then you realize, and sometimes it takes time, but then you realize, hey, this person is not so bad after all. It's the label of being a musician.
Well,
and then I watch most movies that have musicians in it, the music movies, and I'm like, that's why. I mean, holy crap! I watched Johnny Cash, and I was like,
Oh yeah.
well, I mean, wow, you know, and other movies, but I said that's why, you know, my first wife, my ex-wife, they didn't want me to join a band. They didn't want me to play music. I had snuck around her back for a year with Natural Vibrations, practicing with them every Tuesday and Thursday until I couldn't hide it anymore because she thought I was having an affair. You know, I'd get off work I'd leave work early at 2:00, and so I could be at practice at 4. And then be at practice at 4 till 9, sometimes 10.
Oh.
And then tell her I was, you know, working overtime. Like, who the hell works overtime till 10 o'clock at night?
Sorry, but you say that. Let me jump on that because 5-hour practice, right? Was that a normal thing for Natural Vibes?
Well, you know, it was like practice / party, backyard party style. Like
Okay. Because we used to practice like that too, like long hours. And I think when people go like, you know, they'll tell you like, hey, why don't you go start another band? For me, I think back on like, man, I remember all the practices that we had to do to get tight, you know, and it's like, I don't know if I want to restart that, but so even for you guys, you did put in the work, the time.
Yeah.
We at the time we didn't realize what exactly we were doing.
Yeah.
We were having fun. I wasn't smoking at the time or doing any drugs. I wasn't drinking either, and so I'd be watching some of the other band members, you know, engage in that kind of stuff. And
Did you
I'd be
stop though for the band, or did you never try it before?
I didn't. Okay, I
As
started.
kids, we fool around, right? We do stuff. Did you stop when you were on the band, or
Well,
did
I was 18. I was 18 when I started smoking weed, and I haven't even to today. I haven't done anything more than marijuana. But when I started the band, I wasn't smoking.
Oh.
At first, for a while, and then as you're around it, well, you end up, you know, partaking in it. And that, for me, it wasn't peer pressure or anything like that. It was just
Secondhand smoke.
curiosity. It could have been that. But I was curious.
Yeah.
Because there were only 2 members at the time that was smoking, and I was like, these guys always come high.
And you're in a reggae band.
Well, that's what I used to get told all the time too. You're a reggae man, you don't smoke. Like,
Yeah, so I don't
what's
think
the
you could be in
purpose
a
of
band
being
with Wayne and not stuff. Sorry,
And
Wayne, but you know.
I mean, and so, you know, I after a while I engaged, and yeah, that totally changed everything. But in the beginning, like when we would do the 5-hour practices, most of the time it wasn't hard practice. It wasn't.
Yeah.
We're sitting, but we're playing the same song for about 30, 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the same, and of course it's all covers. And then maybe the last couple of hours we're dabbling in originals, not knowing.
Yeah.
So we take a break, come back from the break, and someone's playing this and someone else is playing, and they join in, and now here's the rhythm, and I'm going, and I got lyrics for this.
Wow.
You know? And then that's how we start dabbling in making original songs. And so along with the covers, we have originals. But then we noticed that when you're playing in a live set, don't do your originals so much. Because then the dance floor is empty. And as soon as you play the covers, everybody comes back on and starts dancing.
Not
In the
anymore,
beginning,
though.
yeah. In the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning. It takes a while. And then after a while, you start to notice they like the originals. They're, you know, they'll come up after you're done and they'll be like, man, you know, that song you played, I'd never heard that song before. I said, yeah, because that's an original song. Well, you guys should play that song all the time now. That's why I come.
I have a question for you guys in practicing with your band. Because, you know, like, jam session wise, you're just playing stuff for fun and you're gelling and you're having fun. But do you guys play the same song over and over and over again to perfect it and then move on to the next song? Or is it just like, we'll try this one. Okay, after this, we'll try this one. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
did you guys? Because for me, if I had to play something over and over to perfect, I'll be bored of that song at the end of the
If it's in
jam
a
session.
live set, I want to perfect it because my peers know that song.
But
And-
do you skip it and then come back to it, or do you keep doing it until it's
Oh
perfected?
yeah, I mean you'll play it enough until you get kind of tired of. For me anyway.
Yeah.
So what happens? I don't know if this happens with you guys, but what would happen is like, you go, oh, I got this song I want to try,
Okay.
right?
Like, bring me your cup.
Bring me a
Yeah,
cup. Okay, so
okay.
you're playing Bring Me a Cup or whatever, and then everyone's playing along, and then you finish it, and then like Lopaku will like, oh, wait, I got this thing I want to try in the beginning, so can we try it again? And then during the thing, he comes up with something that is interesting to him,
So it builds.
right?
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, so we play it again. And then because he plays that, then someone else will go, oh, yeah, okay, I'm going to do this. I hear that, so
The add-on.
yeah, you just kind of like playing off you hear stuff and you go, oh, because of that, maybe
This
I'm
is
going to try
morphing
this.
into something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, so that's what
Becomes
makes
your
it.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're playing the same song over and over, but people are coming up with ideas that makes it interesting to them,
Mhm.
right, during that time. So they're like, oh, what if right here we stop? We just
Mhm.
go bop, and then bop, and then, oh, that sounds kind of cool. So you try it. So it's kind of a organic.
And that's the
Okay.
thing. You
But
got
that's what makes
3
it
guys in that band.
Yeah.
And you get like 8 guys.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
Natural
Well,
life.
it's like how he said, and then that transitioned into when we would do our original music because it was ours.
Oh, yeah.
Now we just take it and break it down completely. Okay,
Yeah.
here, you do this
Yeah.
on this part. Here,
Yeah.
you do this, and then we'll all do this on this part.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, so like caveman with the tire, with the circle. Oh my gosh, wang! And then the older guys are just like, yeah, we did that on the second album. Like, oh yeah, we don't give a crap. We're doing it now.
Yeah.
But
So that's what makes it interesting, even
Yeah,
though
the
you're playing
building,
the
right?
same song, right?
trial and error.
Yeah.
Which is why they love being in the studio, because in the studio you build all that stuff from scratch as well. Where
Well,
for those of us who are not musically inclined, sitting in a room and watching you play the same guitar part like 12 times, and going, okay, we'll do it. Okay, a little bit like this. Okay, wait, now change that. Okay, make this a little bit
Like-
more blues. And you're like, oh my God, how long is this gonna
like
take?
La Bamba when the brother was playing the drums. And they said 50 something takes. Man, I didn't even notice one different one, because he wasn't a musician.
Yeah.
But the producers and musicians, they know the
They hear it,
difference.
yeah.
Because as a graphic artist, right? Don't you draw stuff and then you go, oh, what if I took this and I drew it a little bit more like this, or it's kind of the same thing, right? That's the creative part of the
The
process.
older I got, the more perfected I got with what I want to do. Like, I'll sit on designs for a week and
Right.
move on to another one, but come back to it later on to
Mhm.
perfect it. Because I notice every time if I rush and I send it out to print, or I throw it up onto like Instagram, whatever, I look at it and I go, there's a flaw right there I didn't see. So I need to step back and maybe sometimes remove myself from it
Mhm.
and then perfect it later on. And when it's perfect, then you kind of know.
You always ask the people closest to you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
If you record it, hey, listen to this.
And
What
my
you
wife
think?
is the most brutal, right? She'd walk up, she goes, I don't get it. I don't know. Whatever.
They normally
Yeah.
are. They're the ones
Yeah.
that are the most the critic that you can handle the opinion.
Yeah.
Because there'd be some times where I would be told things, and I would just be like, I don't like that guy anymore. in fact, don't bring him to the practice. He can't come. In fact, closing the practice to anybody. If you're not in the band, you cannot come in here. That's the last thing I want.
Sometimes
Or-
I get hurt though. Like, I work hard on them. It's nice. I go, Chum, check this out. I think on sale. And she comes. She goes, I don't know. And I go, that's not for you. That's why you.
Yeah.
That's all you do.
Oh, okay.
You're not in the artistic setting. That's because I pulled you up from watching Oprah.
But you watch him. If you, I don't think you've ever, John. You've never seen him sit at his desk and do it yet. I've walked in when he's designing something, and it's a trip because he's got these 2 screens that are big and spread out, and he's sitting on his chair and he's doing stuff, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And he goes, oh, right here, and he'll like zoom to this spot that's up in the corner that looks like a little square thing, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he goes, oh, I gotta round this part off.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, nobody can freaking see that. He goes, no, but it looks cleaner when you did it. Then he zooms out. I go, Yeah, okay, sure. But it's like what you guys, I'm sure, were doing with the recordings, right? So you're sitting there listening to a song, and
You can hear it. I can hear it.
yeah, I meant to ask you, like when you guys are sitting around. I mean, you got what, 8 guys in the band, 9 guys. Does everybody get a say onto what's happening on the? Okay,
with us guys, with us guys, especially if it's coming down to the final mix.
Yeah,
and most guys are critical on their part.
Yeah.
I try never to, like now, my bandmates, that my guys that play with me, I don't tell them how to play, because I can't play that instrument. So I'm not going to tell you how to play the instrument. Okay. I'm going to tell you, here's the song, here's your part in the song. Okay. Now, I don't expect you to play it exactly like the parties in the song, but get us in the field. Mm-hmm. Yeah, get us inside the stadium, on the field. We'll do the rest. Mm-hmm. You don't have to worry about hitting, catching, running. Just get into the field, and Mongoose and I will do the rest. So long as you can, the part sounds good enough to, hey, that's the part. Like, and then most times these guys, they'll kill the part. They'll just smash it. I'm like, man, I never heard it like that. But man, don't play it like that all the time.
So you guys rely on your bandmates to add the flavor to the music
in their parts, because I don't play the musical instrument. So I'm not gonna tell you. That'd be foolish and stupid of me to do that.
But I think it's flipped when somebody like Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters, he hears everything in his head, and the band members have to kind of replicate what he hears in his head. Because he hears everything and plays everything.
There are certain musicians like Prince.
Yeah.
Play every instrument known to man. Mm-hmm. So when that guy tells you, like James Brown, he hears the beat. It's in a movie. Yeah, Yeah. What is this? It's a drum. What are you playing? A trumpet? No. That's a drum. What's this? Guitar? No. That's a drum. Because I want you to hear what I'm hearing. I'm hearing this part. It's the drum. Everybody has to be on this part, or it's not going to sound like how I want it to sound. Here, I'm the leader and singing the song, lead on the song. The music part, the instrumental part has to be like this, so then I can do my part.
So back in the beginning days of Natural Vibrations, who was the integral musicians that came up with your sound and your originality?
I would say everybody who played the instruments, like Shane Wayne, when J.O. came on for bass, they were key in the part that they played, the instrument that they played, because they were good at that. I most times never heard what they heard. So I relied on their playing technique and the instrument to hear the part. And when they would bring it out, then it would bring out the vocal, the singing, the material for the words, because they're playing a certain way, and the song just feels this way. Okay, here comes the song, the words, and it truly was magnificent the way we created in a room with just half the band stone, and the other half not stone.
Yeah.
But what you got out of it, like for instance, Shane was the keyboard player, but he also was the vocal coach.
Oh.
Because he had the keyboard. Oh. You can't lie with the keyboard. It's giving you the correct note.
Yeah.
This guy's not singing the note. Shane. And when we sing together, you can hear it. It's, you know what I mean? You can hear. I can hear it. He can hear it. Everybody singing can hear that. That's not the note. And you're not singing the note. We're all singing our notes, but you're not. Shane, give him the note. And then we just help him. We're all singing the same note, same words in the same note, so that person, okay, I get it. Record yourself too, so you can go home and remember it and record it.
Sounds like us doing stuff with Ross.
Kind of.
When we were doing because when we do Lisa Matsumoto's plays, right? A lot of the music that was written, at least for like Happily and stuff, it's like 4-5 part harmony. And so when we'd sit down, they'd be plinking out the notes for us, and we're not. Well, I'm not a musician in that way. Like I don't hear it in that way. So it's strange because we're like, wait, I'm going where? They're like, oh, you need to go like.
That, to be honest, that is really tough.
Yeah.
Because even for me, like when I worked with Justin's like he has very specific where the notes are supposed to be and the harmonies and stuff, and I'm more free form. Like I just sing what I feel.
Right.
But to go like, and no, this is the bing bing, and you gotta sing it like exactly. Yeah. That's hard.
Yeah.
It's
Shane would go down the keys.
Oh really?
As you're singing.
Yeah.
The note changes.
Yeah. Right.
And so he's playing it. This is how you're supposed to sing it, and the keyboard is playing. The keyboard is right, not you.
So I could put a little love in. I mean, you can hear the different harmonies that are all kind of put together. So Shane would hear all that and go, okay, you sing this part, you sing this part.
And he's singing here. Okay, well, I'm normally, we'll do 1, 3, 5.
Yeah.
And Wayne's always a low.
Yeah.
I'm singing lead, and Shane is always the high. And when Jehua,
interesting.
When Jehua came into the band, he was a singer also.
Yeah.
So we'd put him on the 7th note. Or the other note that like a higher note or an in-between note.
Because he knew where to
because he could sing and
he
knew what the part was. He also played keyboards. So he would hear his part practicing.
With you guys, core group of your band, you guys are comfortable telling each other, that sucks or that sounds good too, right? Like, you're not going to take it personally, right?
Well, no, because that's for us.
Yeah. You don't say it like that.
No, but you know what I mean, though, right?
Like for us, that was like Natural Vibrations, the reputation, and then that became the foundation was our harmony.
Yeah. Because for me, I design one shirt, I make the decision, we print it, the thing will sell. I suck, right? Like it's just me, that's my fault, right? But if I had 3 people deciding what we do, I would have to, work together. And
all depends, right? Because not necessarily. We've done songs where the harmony was good, but the song, the material sucked. So it's not you sucked or what you drew. Somebody else looks at that and says, "Yeah, I like this." You might get a couple people that say, "I like it." You might get more than a couple people that say, "Your other design was," and then now comes the next troubled part, which is topping what you did was successful and trying to top that. Yeah. You're always one-upping something that you did was good. People found it really that they liked.
When you heard Put a Little Love In the first time you guys put it on, during a rehearsal, did you know what you guys were onto?
It was just a bunch of songs we did, and then we recorded them. It wasn't like how they do now. They'll take 50 songs and narrow it down to 10. I don't believe in that. I believe in you. Here's a song I wrote. I only wrote 10 songs.
Yeah.
That's the 10 songs we're recording. Like, I don't care how you guys feel. I'm paying for the recording time, but this is the songs we're recording.
If I heard Put a Little Love In for the first time, I'll be like, that's it. That's going to be a great song. It's going to do well. But if somebody said, hey, try to do this song, and you play Butu Butu Suk Suk, I'll be like, that's super cool, but I don't know how it's going to be reacting when it's recorded.
What's funny is when we recorded that song one-on-one, Dave Tusserone was like, why is this song on the album? And we were like, because Wayne wrote it. And he was like, and that means... I was like, and that means that's his song. Everybody had, we tried to make it fair. Everybody got a number of songs. I wrote majority of it because I was a singer. I didn't play an instrument. That was my job, to write and come up with. They came up with the music, and I wrote the words. Like, that was most time. But then after the second album, I would come with the notes for the song. I'd come and get on the keyboard and be like, hey, you play the song like this, how I want it to play.
Okay, I like the deep dive then, real quick. What was that a slang that Wayne came up with before you guys made it into a song, or was that a song that just kind of organically grew?
Well, one-on-one?
Yeah.
Well, he when we recorded it, most times we would already have the song would be in a set. We would already be singing most of these songs before we recorded them.
Yeah.
And then as we would be singing them, most of the people would come up and be like, I like that song.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Holy crap, I like that song. We should play that song all the time. So then we started noticing in the live set, this is the song. Right? So then when we went to record, that's the song.
Well, I guess I was saying when you guys are jamming, when he said, hey, check out this
lyric. When he came up with that part, and I was like, brah, first of all, you're not Filipino. Like, and you're saying that word, but you're not Filipino.
Wait, is that an actual Filipino word?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
what
like,
does it really mean?
well, I mean, you know, it's not.
Does it
if you're-
mean to oof?
Something like that.
Yeah,
The reference
pretty
is for that. And so when Kaiten came into the band, well, Kaiten was already in the band. But at that point, I was like, well, you can't do that part. He was like, why? I said, because first of all, you're not Filipino. Like I just said, you're not Filipino. I said, the only guy who could say it and probably get away with it is him. And he's like, he doesn't even sing or rap. I said, well, he's going to have to start.
Well, what's amazing is, he comes out, and that's his one.
And he
Yeah, and he
He's
nails
a-
it.
He's
It's
a-
perfect.
He's the guy in the back. He's quiet.
Yeah.
He's in the shadows.
Yeah.
And then who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I remember when it came out. 'Cause, I
he's
I was at FM 100, and when the song came out, they played it on 985 before anybody else. And 985 blasted the crap out of that
Yep.
song. And FM 100, Bill folks were like, oh, well, we cannot play that song.
Yep.
We talk about oofing, bro. That's not.
Yep.
And they're like, well, it'll die down. It'll be fine. And then the song went number one,
Yeah.
number one,
It's
number
a
one. And we
phenomenon.
went, oh, shit, I think we're going to have to play this song.
Yeah.
And then we started playing it,
That-
and it got a life.
We
of its
rode
I mean-
that way for a while.
Yeah.
Listening
Oh,
to
wow.
it on radio is great, but watching it live was another
yeah.
thing too, man. It
Well,
was amazing.
And
to
then that
watch.
song went from somewhere in the beginning of the set list to the middle, and then it was like, no, it has to be at the end.
Yeah.
Mm.
You cannot play the song anywhere else because then people leave. They're like, oh, we heard the song, we're out of here.
When you played it in the mainland, especially for a song like that, did people get it?
Well, the ones that never knew who we were, they didn't really know. But what happened was a lot of the people that lived here that were living in the mainland and had mainland friends, they would already be playing that song in the parties.
They knew it. They were waiting for
these
it.
guys are coming. So
Here you
here,
go.
listen to this. These are the songs they're going to play. Better you know the song. I went to a concert on Molokai, and Jeremiah was playing, and he played after us. Well, we played first, and when we went on, everybody, they knew the words and songs, and so they sang, and we got off. And this is Natural Vibrations, and we got off, and then Jeremiah and them got on, and I went to listen because everyone's like, bro, you gotta listen to this band, Peni, bro. These guys are good, and it remind me of you guys when you first started. So I was like, okay. So as they started playing, I forget what song it was he sang, but Jeremiah's story is he was in prison for a while, and so had written a bunch of songs, and they were like heartfelt songs about doing bad stuff and ending up in a bad place, and all the youth connected to his music. And so when he started playing, I felt like how I've seen other people when we play and they don't know our words, and once everybody starts singing, you start doing that. You're like, what the hell is going on? I don't know any of these words, but everybody here knows these words. That's exactly what happened. As soon as he started singing, all the kids around us were singing. And I looked at the band and I was like, brah, if I don't feel out of place at this moment, because every kid in there knew that song. I didn't know the song, but they were singing it. And I was like, holy crap, this is how it feels to be in a crowd of people that know the music and you don't. So I immediately connected with the people on the mainland who come and watch our shows, because you see them. As soon as we start singing and everybody's singing, they're the ones looking around like, what the hell is going on? I never heard this band before. How do these guys know the music? And then they realize, well, these guys are all from Hawaii, and that band is from Hawaii. So you gain new listeners.
Yeah.
But like that, I mean, it's interesting because the song, if it's catchy, it grows on you. Like I was saying earlier, we recorded songs because those were the songs we were practicing and played in the live set. And then we only made 12 songs. That was the songs we were going to record, because it's like, you can't. And then we were told by some of the producers sometimes, oh, why don't you guys remake this song? And I was like, no, I don't want to ever be known as a remake song band, like a cover band.
Used to have a lot of that.
Once we started recording our own music, once we started doing originals, then I never wanted to record a cover song, not ever.
Yeah.
I was like, I can write. Not that I was better than anybody who wrote music, but I was like, I can write a song better than covering this song.
Mm-hmm.
I felt to myself like I can write. In high school, I used to do poetry, and I would write love letters for all the guys on the football team. Yeah,
Not to them, but
no, not to them, but for them, so they would give it to their girlfriend. No, not to them.
Just to make that quite clear.
You could get beat up doing something like that. I mean, and so I would write, and they would look, and they would read it, and they would go, bro, just the kind I like. Write me so I can give it to my girlfriend. And then that caught, and then that caught up real quick because the girls would be with each other
comparing the notes.
And they'd be like, Johnny Boy, look what he wrote me. Oh, so nice. Yeah, look. Roses are red, violets are blue.
Oh, no.
I like kiss you and two. And, so they would be like, wait. The boy wrote me one letter too. One poet. And they match them on and they go, that's the same words. So then they ask the boys, who the hell? You never write this. Who wrote it for you? And then, finally they'd give me up.
Yeah.
Pay for it. And then I'd have all these girls yelling at me like, brah, what's wrong with you?
He let me sleep with him on the strength of this.
Why you never make them different? I said, that wasn't me. These guys all copied each other. I gave one guy the note and he went back and then the rest of them copied the letter.
That's not your fault.
No.
Oh, but, you're in high school. What can you expect? And that's mostly... Most of them was titters, like beat you up and beat you up.
When we're inside, you gotta be careful. I wanted to ask something. You're talking about Dave Tucheron. I know we had Dave on the pod.
Mm-hmm.
And
I love that guy.
The producers you work with, like Dave, is super. He's very exacting about what he wants. Right?
He's meticulous.
So and you said that a lot of the music that you guys were recording were, it's the 12 songs that you wrote, right?
Originals.
But you've been working on the originals in the set, right? So you kind of have an idea of what you're going to bring, and I would think it would streamline the process for recording these things because everybody knows what they're going to do. But how do you manage that with Dave? Because Dave here's a different thing,
Dave,
right?
And then we play him, and then he's like, oh no, here you should do this.
Oh, okay.
And then he'd be right on the keyboard,
Yeah.
on the piano, and then brah, he would make his own version, and I'd be like, damn, can we use that? And he'd be like, yeah, that's why I'm playing it, so you guys should, maybe do it this way.
Wow.
And I'd be like, okay, like Put a Little Love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Neanderthalic to him when we played it.
Really?
Well,
And then he was like, well, how about, we do this? And I've never heard of a seventh chord. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I've never... My stepdad and my mom, when she met my stepdad, until then it was all Motown. My mom was the Beatles and Motown. So I grew up listening to a lot of different genres, but it wasn't until I met my stepdad, Rehearsal, that he introduced me to jazz.
Mm.
And once I heard jazz, I was like, damn, that is amazing. Like you can take that, and if we can apply it to reggae music, which they already were doing, like Bob was already doing that, right? Mm-hmm. And so I said, what if we used it here also? It was the same time with Dave, and he would help us produce the song. That guy, like Fiji will admit to it. Like, you go and record with Dave, you're leaving with grill marks, we used to say. Mm-hmm. He's grilling you, but in a good way. Mm-hmm. If it wasn't for Dave Tucheron, my recording know-how and philosophy would just be bass. Totally and that would be nothing. Most of the music wouldn't even be appealing.
So Put a Little Loving original, when you guys played it before it got recorded, sounded totally different?
It wasn't totally different, but like I said, Neanderthalic. I mean, it was
in what way?
Well, I mean, like, okay, you're coming in with a caveman style song, and Dave hears it and he's like, hey, I can spruce it up if you did this, or if you made a change here. Like, that song never really had a bridge. And then Dave was like, some of your stuff you should put a bridge in it to break up the monotony, because reggae music, the chords can just go back and forth,
Repetitive.
Who the hell wants to listen to 5 minutes of that?
Yeah.
A minor, D minor, the whole what? Put a bridge in it, and I was like, "What's a bridge?" We're crossing over doing something. He was like, "Yeah, exactly."
And it has that nice break.
Yeah.
So
into the
Dave
solo.
taught us
does.
a lot. I mean, we learned so much from Dave. Just so much from
Well,
Dave.
I do want to give Wayne a lot of credit too.
Yeah.
I may have said this on the last podcast, but as a guitar player, he plays just enough. His licks are super hooky. Like, so when you think about that sound, I mean, you can get overboard with it, but he always keeps it simple enough that you sing along to the licks too.
That's how most of the songs were written, was in a simple form.
Yeah.
Where, like how we're talking about earlier, hey, do you hear this? Hey, do you hear that? And because we were in the shack, it was a party atmosphere. There's 15, 20 people in there, and we're playing. Now, how do you play to each other and keep out all the whitewash without letting it affect you? And so simple, less is more. That was our theory in being with that band. Less is more.
And then it allows your vocal to shine too. He's not
And because
overplaying.
that's what we wanted to be known for, was the singing, the harmonies. How can we get, like, first of all, what is the identity of the band? Is it going to be everybody can jam, or what are we trying to do? But we knew, hey, everybody can sing. And as oddly as it is, everybody fit their part perfect. Wayne was a baritone. I was like a
tenor.
Yeah, tenor. Shane was a soprano. Jehua came in as he could be either or. So he'd feel where it would sound good. So then that became the base, the foundation of the band. Was like, hey, we can sing.
Yeah.
So playing less on the instruments was more apparent, because it allowed the vocals to stand out more, rather than have some killer guitar player or bass player flood the song with that tone. We'll just do it. And then Wayne was in Windward Community College. He signed up for the choir.
Oh.
And me and Shane at the time we had nothing to do, so he would always say, "Hey, come meet us. Let's go to class." And I'd be like, "Go to class?" And Miss Gloria, who was the choir teacher at Windward Community College, is the best teacher to date, man. For me, anyway, vocal coach. She helped structure Natural Vibrations vocally.
This is the class that you guys crashed, right?
Well, I mean, eventually Shane joined the choir. He went to school and joined the choir. And I only went because there was nothing else to do.
Didn't you sneak in though to like classes to just learn stuff?
Oh, other than that, like if we were, I went to computer class a bunch of times because we couldn't be in the class. When we couldn't be in the class, we'd go and do other stuff. So just wander around the campus and then end up in somebody else's class. Like,
free education, man.
You know, they would. The professors would never say. That was a good thing about professors.
Yeah.
Most of them, they're not gonna shush you away. You're interested. Well, heck, man, who am I to stop you from
learning?
That's the whole
Yeah.
idea of community college, right?
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, so we were lucky, fortunate that we were able to go and do those things, and I just wander off. Hey, computer class. Hey, okay.
By the way, we're in community college, just in case you need a spokesperson, or the next time there's a fundraiser, I'm gonna call Peni Dean.
Better call
They'd
Wayne
be like,
Dinos.
Yeah.
That must be so fun, though, because you're young still. You just can blend in with the students. You just go to different classes.
I look back now and I think, man, we were privileged to be a part of something so great. Wayne, I mean, you know, he tutored at the school also. He did a lot of good things up there.
He tutored at the school?
Yeah, Wayne was the unspoken leader of the band, pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what? When he would say something, we'd all be like, we wouldn't just let it in one ear and out the other. We'd be like, lend a thought to it. You know, like, hey, man, that sounds pretty reasonable. Okay, I mean, I'll go along with it because, you know, even though that guy smokes pot,
Copious amounts of weed.
it's okay. Which, by the way, off track.
Yeah.
I had a knee operation
Mm.
and was on the Big Island for 3 weeks. And so for the last 3 months, I've been alcohol free for over 25 years, but in the last 3 months, I have been marijuana free.
Oh.
And
How do you feel?
Amazing. Amazing. I believe.
Congratulations.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, thank you.
Yeah.
I believe it's nothing. I would never judge anybody who does smoke
Yeah.
pot. I've never done anything more than marijuana. That's the most that I've ever done was that, and I've been smoking since I was 18. There was a period where I didn't when I joined the band, but then after that, every day.
Why did you stop?
Well, first of all, I was in the hospital. You
reason.
can't
It
smoke
makes
in
it
the
harder.
hospital.
Reason, right?
Although I have smoked before with the vape pen.
Well, you can eat
Oh,
gummies too while
Here.
you're in the hospital.
Well, you could.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do all of that.
Yeah.
But this time it was different because my wife brought up the vape pen, and I hit the pen in the hospital there in Hilo, and I cannot tell you that the paranoia and the anxiety it created was the reason why I stopped.
Really?
And before it was the reason why I did it was
To escape the paranoia.
well no
and
was
stuff, right?
was I used to love that feeling.
Of
I
being
would-
paranoid?
Oh yeah, and anxiety, like, and work with it and have it work, and you working with it to instead of it getting the best of you, you get the best of it. I'm using it to do
The challenge.
create.
Oh, how
To
interesting.
create-
That's interesting.
I had
Yeah.
no idea.
I thought you used it to just kind of escape anxiety and paranoia,
Yeah.
like
I
relax.
would use it because the feeling was so such a turn on to be able to use that, knowing what it does to other people, but I'm using it to create. I'm using that,
Wow.
and it's not getting the best of me. I'm using it, to do what I love to do, to create, and it's helping me to do these great things. So I was thinking at the time.
Mm.
Now that I haven't smoked over 3 months and I've been playing a bunch of shows,
And you've been busy, dude.
Yeah.
we're playing everywhere because we're musicians, and that's what we do, and that's my quote unquote job. Never thought I'd ever say anything like that, because being a musician, you want to be able to be free and the music inspire you. You don't want to have to look at it like I'm punching in and punching out. When I say job, it's a way of earning an income financially. It helps me. My wife is the breadwinner, but this helps on the offset. And so doing that, I'm having a great freaking time, man. Like,
That's awesome.
So I love playing music more now, and now that I'm sober, even more. I'm on stage and doing the set and just totally falling in love with it. It's like falling in
awesome
love with
to
music
hear.
all
That's
over
cool.
again, but
That's
this
awesome to
time
You're
being
gonna
in a sober
remember.
state.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, wait. You gotta tell me the story because you told them, but I had no idea, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna tell them on the pod." So, why were you on the Big Island
Okay,
getting knee surgery? What's
I hurt my knee here,
okay?
and that was like on Tuesday.
How did you hurt it?
I fell on my knee at home, and on my knee, like
On the kneecap,
right on the cap, on the top of the cap.
Did you trip
And
down the stairs or what happened?
I fell in the garage. I slipped and fell.
Probably getting older, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to go into the incident that happened. That's
Yeah.
why.
Yeah.
So I slipped and fell on my knee, and the next day I ended up here at the ER. They told me it was gout. I got on a plane because my nephew's party was on the Big Island. It was on a Saturday. I flew down there Thursday. Friday morning, I end up in the ER at Hilo Hospital. They tell me, hey, your knee is septic arthritis. Like, you gotta go in surgery right now. So they did the surgery. I was there for 3 weeks. And so that's how I got down there. And I was, for the next 3 weeks, trying to bend my knee to get on a plane to get back here.
Septic arthritis was caused by the injury, or was it there before and not
It was
diagnosed?
caused by the injury.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Sepsis is no joke.
Well, it was weird how how it all went down, but I mean, must have been really bad because I fell on it, and the way I fell on it, and where I fell on it on my cap.
So
and it just got.
they just cleared out the sepsis.
Yeah, they made an incision, went in and like I guess scoped all this stuff out and got the infection out, and then you're on heavy antibiotics, and then you can't move, and then the whole thing I told you about the bedpan and not being able to go to use the bathroom, and the first time using a bedpan. Now, anybody out there who's listening to this, if you ever had to use a bedpan, you know my struggle, because that's in the bed. You're taking a crap in that bedpan. So my oldest daughter, thank God, she came down there.
By the way.
Yes, Kayla.
Because my daughter would never do that. Our daughters would never do that for us.
I said to her, I don't know what I did, but I'm glad whatever it was I did when you were younger. She was like, oh, Dad, I'm not going to let nobody wipe your ass. I'll come up here and wipe your ass. And I was like, thank you for being the one to come up here and wipe my ass. Thank you, honey.
Oh, you did it for her before.
Well,
so
that's what I said. Remember, I was saying
that.
And I told her that the first day she had to wipe me. I said, that doesn't bother you? She was like, no. I said, well, good, because, man, I had to wipe your ass. And let me tell you, sometimes
it's not pleasant.
I'm like, she's like, Dad. I said, I'm just saying, like, first time parent, like, I got a what? Yeah. And then, girls, there's a certain way of wiping them. You're not just wiping them.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Any way you want to wipe. Yeah. No way, bro. You got to learn how to wipe
John's
girl.
going, what? Really?
No, I changed diapers. What you talking about? Even the boys, you have to open and
yes,
and block
cover. It's the cover.
You'll put umbrella
unless
over
you want the fountain of youth. Make sure you cover.
Yeah.
So my first 3 kids were all girls, so lucky me. Then my last 2, my 9-year-olds, they're twins, 1 boy, 1 girl. So my son, Kiai Boy, when I would have to change him, it'd be a learning experience for the first time for sure. Even though you hear the stories, it still doesn't prepare you for what's real time, and then you forget. And you're trying to do it quick, and you pull it and then pull it off, and I'm like, man, are you serious? Like, this is, oh, man. Then you realize, okay, take the straps off, and then it's like, oh, no, not getting me. No.
I had an extra diaper just in case.
Pinch it off.
No.
You just have something to
He's
cover.
never had kids.
Yeah.
Your wife would just smack you.
But okay, so this happened about a month ago.
So no, this happened 3 months ago.
3 months. I'm sorry, 3 months ago. So this happened about 3 months ago,
and that's why I said the stop.
But you lost choke weight. I lost so there's just a lot of. I mean, it's a bad thing that happened, but there's some really nice things that occurred out of it.
Good things that came out of it for sure.
Yeah.
And the blessing of the staff down there in the Hilo Hospital, despite of what everyone hears, the medical equipment is all up to date. It's the facade of the place gives it the bad rep, and then whatever it was like before.
Yeah.
But this time around, I was lucky because the staff was excellent, and I'm not gonna sit here and badmouth them because I'm here. Yeah. Because of what they did for me.
It's kind of like a second reset for you. I mean, one was under Sandy Beach in the lifeguard stand for a couple of weeks, and now you got this other reset.
Coming home and
now you got
getting away from the band and then resetting and going. And then this was it was although it was from a hospital bed, but for the time that I was there and sober, so much thought went into when I get out of here. And that's why if you see me all over the place playing is because when I was laying in the bed, I was like, when I get out of here, every chance I get, I'm going to be on stage somewhere. Every chance I get, I'm going to play music. I'm not going to be laying down at home. During the weekdays is different. I'm more like Mr. Mom.
Yeah.
Because like I said, my wife is the breadwinner. She's the one that works, so I'll do the picking up the kids from school, and I don't do homework. Because they'll go to school and the teachers will be like,
"I never did homework when I was in school."
Your dad did your homework, right?
Hey, dude, the way now, I was a pretty decent student, the way they teach math now and the way they do.
Yeah, I don't get
I don't
it,
even
bro.
know how to do it.
The
now.
you gotta show
I don't
three
get it,
different
bro.
ways to solve the problem.
And then they don't have books anymore.
No.
They just get worksheets and
Yeah.
stuff. So
And because my wife is up at the college at Windward, she heads the Hawaiian Studies department, and so because she's there in the teaching mode, she has more understanding than I do. So and then they come home and everybody in my house can speak fluent Hawaiian.
Oh, they're in the immersion program.
Yeah, they're in the immersion program at Puhala. So everybody in the house except me can speak, fluent Hawaiian. And so
You think they talk stink about you?
well, but then I know the difference.
Oh, okay.
I know certain phrases
Yeah.
and words, and so I'll catch them. So they can't do that to me anymore.
Anymore.
Or, like any foreign language, right?
Yeah.
Talking about you until you start to catch on,
Right,
and then
right.
you asking questions to so that you know, and so now it's like, hey, what you said? I hear what you said. Like, are we talking about me?
across the street of Ainahaina Shopping Center is this Japanese, like a school that
Japanese
Japanese
school.
national people
charter
call it.
school, yeah.
And there was a coffee shop down in Ainahaina Shopping Center that my friend used to work at, and all the students would come, after
Was
school.
that Jack's or?
No, it's not there anymore.
Oh.
It's where right next to the post office, where like kind of where by where Starbucks is. now.
Anyway.
Really?
Anyway.
Okay.
But there was this blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl that used to work with him, but she spoke fluent Japanese,
Oh.
and she would catch those students talking about her.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I got taught
Rah.
that at a very young age. We grew up in KPT, Kuhio Park Terrace.
Yep.
And one day we got in the elevator. It was me and my two girl cousins. And a black guy got on the elevator with us. And as soon as he got on, my two cousins just started ripping him in Samoan. They were just talking bad about him, just saying all kind of nasty stuff. And I was looking at them like, man, really? This guy didn't even do anything to you.
Yeah.
You guys are bad-mouthing him. So he got off on the floor before our floor. So he got off. And before the door closes, he turned around and gave them a sentence, swore at them in Samoan.
Oh.
Like, shut you down.
Yeah.
And when he said it, I was like, but the door's closed. And my cousin, as soon as he said it to them, and the door closed, they looked at each other and they were like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, see, you never know who the heck
That's
is
a good
getting
lesson to
on
learn, man.
the train or on the bus or on the elevator with you, and then you're like, oh my God, shame on you guys. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you. You never know who's on, who knows, who understands.
Yep.
Yeah.
You never
And
know.
this guy could have been a rapper for all I knew. He looked like he didn't know anything they were talking about, and the whole time he probably couldn't wait to get off the elevator.
Yeah, man.
Turn to them and say that phrase because to this day I can repeat it, but I'm not going to. But man, the phrase that he said to them was perfect. It fit him. It's like slapping you without slapping you.
Should I tell us that off the air? I like know what it is.
Okay, Devon or Kyle, we have time
Yes.
for one more question. So
I have one,
Okay,
and
I
it
knew
might
Kyle
be
was
quick,
gonna
so
have
then Devon can ask. too.
Okay.
But if you weren't given the gift of music, what do you think you would be doing today?
Ooh.
Well, a choice or just occupation or what you'd love besides music?
I'm scared to think of that because I've had probably every job in the book you could imagine before playing music. Once I played music, I never went and did. Well, in the pandemic, I went back to do construction, of which I was no good at. Thanks a lot, bosses. Byron and
Construction,
B.
they let you know that pretty quick.
Blaze. Yeah, I mean,
They're not.
You-
they're not general
you know
about
if
it.
you
just
built
just
for
take
it.
out the nails for now.
you know if you build. Penny, here's the clippers. Go cut the screen same size as the rat hole, so the rats cannot come into the. Cut the screen. I do really quick want to say that on that note, like I was in a really good band. I was fortunate to start my own band, Peni Dean Music. I feel like I've thrived even more being in this band. But recently I was asked a bunch of questions like, oh, you don't ever want to tour? What about a reunion or all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? At this part of my life, when I told you I watched the Jim Carrey interview, and he said it perfectly, and I realized that that's where I'm at, like how he is. When they asked him, if you could do another movie role or anything, what would it be? And he said, well, if it didn't fall from the heavens on a golden ticket, I'm not touching it, because I have enough. When he said that, it hit me. Out of everything that I've done musically, I have enough. I have enough to be able to do what I'm doing now, still with a band, playing music that I love to play.
And the band is amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
When you watch them together and play, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Thank you. Those guys really work hard at what they do. My band, I'm surrounded by a bunch of really great musicians.
They're all hammers, man.
I couldn't be any happier. And to me, the lead guy is the mongoose. Like, that's my partner in crime. That's my partner. I'm not gonna do this without him. That's how we tell each other. Like, when you're done, so am I. I don't want to do this without you. You're the other half of this band. But when I say enough, I mean, I get to play music and come home to my own bed, to my children, and watch them grow up and go to school and pick them up from school. Because when you're on the road, you don't get none of that. You miss a lot of that. And I had that happen in the first band. Nothing wrong with that, but when I realize now what I missed then, I would never go back to doing that.
You did something right, though, because, I mean, you went through all that surgery, and your daughter just I'm going to drop everything.
Yeah.
I'm
fortunate.
I'm going to wipe your ass.
Yeah, because
you did something right.
She could have been like, no,
Exactly.
I'm not even, I am fortunate. I'm fortunate and lucky, because even in doing that, I still tried to be a father.
Yeah.
I still tried to be the best father I could. So it wasn't like I totally abandoned when I went out to chase this dream on the road. But it could have worked a different way, which would have been disastrous. Yeah. So I'm lucky. So now I realize I have enough. I have enough that allows me to still do what I love to do with a passion. But at the end of the day, go home to my own house, my own bed, my children, my wife. So I'm happy.
I like that.
good. I'm good.
John's happy.
Yeah,
John too. To me, it's nothing wrong with being on the road. But I'll watch these other guys on the Instagram feed and Facebook feeds, and I realize, the only time I miss it is on stage. Because other than that, the hotels and the airports and the bar food.
But you know what's great is we have our friends that are doing it, and we can cheer them on.
Yeah, and I through their eyes, I'm living vicariously. It's like you tell your children, if they turn professional in doing something that they love, and you didn't make it that far, but you still get to live it through them. So I get it, and I cheer them on all the time. Like you say, I always send them messages. Oh man, you guys killed it last night. Well, how's this morning in the lobby? How's the bus ride? 4-hour bus ride to the next gig. 2:00 bus call. I just got finished playing at 12.
Yep.
I said, that's a hard way to do anything. You know what I mean? See family or anything. No, you only got 2 hours.
And it don't matter how big you are, how big of a band you are. You still have to wake up, and you still got to get on that bus.
Those rules
unless
apply.
You're like, Taylor Swift or something.
Well,
but beyond
even her. To me, I think of even the biggest stars, like Jelly Roll. Even those guys, it don't matter where they're going and how comfort it is. You're still doing the same.
I kind of imagine what they got to do on that size stage, that they have.
But that's why they're successful at what they do, because they do wake up.
Yeah, they do it,
and they love it, and they love it, and they're in the now, living in the now.
Yeah.
I'm talking about based on my experience. Like I said, I'm good. I got enough. I'm home here with my family, which means more to me than anything. I'd be home with them than on the road. Plus, my wife told me I'll never, ever be able to go on the road unless the production paid for all of us to go. And she's not playing, bro.
She's not.
Dead serious.
Your wife is never playing.
I'm like,
with
wait,
guys.
We can't tour with Maoli unless you guys all go. What? Glenn, my wife said I can't go. What? No. Yeah, Mom said no. Sorry. Have fun. Have fun. Yeah. No, don't hang up yet. Who's back there? What are you guys doing?
Wait. I know we're gonna leave, but I have to ask about the Australian breakdancer.
Oh my God!
Even if you watch the Olympics, Olympian.
I
Okay,
did.
so-
I did.
Right? Did you see the Australian
I
breakdancer?
did.
do
I
her-
did.
You think
do
she's
whatever that
trolling
was?
or you think she was serious?
No, she was dead serious.
Yeah, it seemed to me genuine.
Yeah.
But
she's a teacher apparently.
But I was flat blasted first of all with the category. Because I was thinking, man, you could have had, okay, you're gonna have breakdancing, and why not have spiritual? What is that one where they do the hand and poetry, slam poetry?
Yeah.
I mean, and then I find out that they said they're not gonna have it next year.
Oh, they're not.
Oh, the
No,
next
no,
Olympics,
they
they're
dumped it, yeah,
They
they
don't
dumped it.
break.
Wow.
Which is hilarious because LA, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the whole
Yeah.
United States is where all that stuff
Well, but
came
then they
out, so it's
added
like-
4 other categories or something like that, which I was like, okay, that's cool. You're gonna add that softball and some other stuff.
Oh,
like
okay.
I just didn't I didn't
You
One
didn't-
thing, like they focused on that lady breakdancing, but then my wife, who's not a breakdancer, but she's a dancer, she watched a girl from Japan who won. And
She
went,
was good. Yeah.
I mean, she's
Yeah.
good, but still, the breakdancing we've seen
No,
over the past
doesn't compare.
years, it's not
No.
even close.
No.
And so I was like, wait, what happened? But apparently there was some sort of pilikia, and so a lot of the really good breakdancers said, nah, I ain't gonna do that, which sort of blunted the whole reason for why they
They
did
had
it.
different
right?
rules too. It wasn't like just a straight up battle. It was a different rules
Yeah.
you had
Yeah.
to accomplish.
yeah.
But
But I seen
bruh,
one guy just spin on his head forever. I was like, that guy
Yeah.
probably won, and he never even placed
Jeez.
because I think he kept doing the same moves over and over in the rounds.
But dude, the kangaroo hop. No, I can't. No,
I didn't
no.
watch. I just
No,
seen
no.
all the memes. It's just like a nonstop memes
I feel
of her.
sorry
like-
for that girl if she was serious though.
I just saw one
You know?
today
Dead serious.
that's it.
Like-
And it's a pictures of all the Australian guys who won, right? And
Oh,
it
yeah,
says,
yeah. That,
we are so happy that not you representing
Oh my God.
Australia.
Oh my
It's
God.
just like, oh man,
yeah.
Uh,
so mean.
But you know that's gonna be the most popular Halloween costume.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I want to thank you guys for having me back on because like I said, the first time on was my first experience doing a podcast. I've never
That's
done
crazy.
I've never done this before. Been a bunch of other guys that have asked, and I'm like, I mean, I don't know how to. I don't know if there's a way of doing it other than you just get on and talk story.
Yeah, that's
That's
not.
Oh,
it
this
is.
is perfect. That's
Yeah.
what we
Being
do. this
around you
for.
guys, like if we were a morning show, yeah,
Oh, let's not talk about morning shows.
it would but it would be interesting.
It would
be
be fun. It would be.
interesting,
Yeah.
So
And we only
thank you
swore
guys.
like twice. So
Yeah.
it would have been
And
fun.
you're always welcome to come back.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you. Oh, I will be
Yeah.
coming
Just
back.
call and be like, Dev,
Yeah,
for
man.
sure.
Dev,
For
I'm
sure.
on again.
Anytime.
I'm
Yeah.
on again.
Yeah.
Bring me back.
Yeah.
So
When can we get back on again? Thank you guys.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank
Thanks
you.
everybody. We'll see you next week. Sorry for
care.
the break. See you later.